Hello, Enlightened22 here. This is the fast and abridged version of how to choose your building blocks. For the longer but full version, click the link at the top of the screen. Enough time? Okay, let's get this started. Once you know the theme of your build, in this case Oriental, pick out every block that you think could possibly fit into this theme. In this case, I picked a bunch of green blocks for the roof and a bunch of white blocks as accent colors. And then I tested all these blocks together in a small scale, see what looks good, and I come up with the color palette, my block choices for the build. Now if you're still not sure about something, in this case lime and green hardened clay look very similar, start making a portion of your build to compare them. Let's say I'm still unsure with this portion of the wall, start making it bigger and more detailed, and keep doing that until you decide on your blocks. When building something, and thus choosing your blocks for a build, one of the biggest things to be concerned about is contrast. Contrast is what makes builds interesting, and it can be created from differences in color and differences in texture. So let's start with the color. Here's our basic color wheel that you'll use in Minecraft, and these are the 6 main colors we'll worry about. A couple things about those colors. There's the warm colors and the cool colors. Cool colors are much more relaxed, and because of that, they'll be boring in bulk, so a purely blue build is typically not too interesting. While warm colors are more alive, energetic, they're what brings life to your build, so I highly recommend having at least one warm color in any build you do. Now, complements are opposite colors on the color wheel, like these, and they bring a lot of contrast. Because of having a lot of contrast, too many complements are hard to balance, but a few for focal points, such as flags and merchant stalls, works excellently. The other thing you can do with these colors is shade, tint, and tone them. So add black, white, or gray, and you can also add brown. So if you add black, it becomes weightier. It stands out a little bit more. If you add white, it becomes softer, it recedes into the background. If you tone it, it calms the color, and if you add brown, it moderates it. It makes it a more moderate color. Brown and gray in particular are very moderate, and because of that, they work with any color as you can see here, which is why so many Minecraft builds are based off of stone and wood. Now, also when making a build, I highly recommend using 3 colors. Too few, and the build is likely to be boring. Too many, and it's likely to be chaotic. In this case, you have a main color, so a gray, a secondary color, which is brown, and an accent, which is a small amount that just makes your build pop. Typically that's your most colorful color in a build, in this case orange. Enough about colors, let's talk about textures. We have rough textures, smooth textures, and hybrid, somewhere in between. And then there's the secondary features of textures. These are where the creativity comes in, and knowledge. So like chisel blocks make good focal points, andesite panels can become wall panels like this. So that's an example of these. Best way to learn about these is just looking at lots of builds and just practice playing around with stuff. There's no simple way to learn how blocks can be used in creative ways. Back to rough and smooth though. Rough textures like being with rough, smooth with smooth. When they're together, they don't look so good, other than in 2 situations. If there's some sort of pattern to it, so in this case the rough blocks are at the bottom as a foundation and at the top as a nice brim to the wall, this makes logical sense to the person looking at your build. The other thing is in a more chaotic design, you have to balance it well to make it feel balanced to the viewer and make it interesting, because if it's unbalanced, it just looks chaotic and doesn't make sense to the person looking at it. That's all there is for this tutorial, but if you'd like to play around with this world a little bit, check out the world download in the description. Also, if you want to know what this world is for, check out my other video, linked above my head once again. And if you have any feedback or anything, please leave all comments in the comment section. Thanks for watching.